Okay. Hi, Shuja.
Hi,
Wonderful
sir.
to have you here. How are you feeling?
Thanks for having me. I'm feeling great. Thanks for having me, sir, and inviting into this whole writers community. It's an honor. Thank you.
Great, great. And now, first of all, let's begin. Why don't you tell us something about yourself?
Okay, so I'm basically a sales trainer. I have a consulting company that teaches people how to sell better and more effectively. I usually focus on startups and young SMBs coming up, freelancers as well. Anybody who needs it, I'm the go-to guy. And right now, since I don't have that big of a brand, I'm trying to give people free value, and that is how I go by. Anybody that needs it, I post regularly on LinkedIn, try to provide enough value in terms of sales, because a lot of writers, a lot of freelancers, they love the product, but they don't know how to sell it. What's the next
Perfect,
step?
perfect,
Basically
great.
marketing, and so I help them do that. Yeah, so
Oh,
that's it.
that sounds
Mainly.
amazing. So, Shuja, what all people or what all businesses, what all kind of businesses have you helped with so far?
Okay, so I had a couple of people in digital marketing sector,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of like the Facebook ads and the marketing guys that like the generic marketing guys or girls that want to start in this, and they want to know what's the first step and where to go from there.
Okay.
Again, there are other people that don't get the conversion that they need on the first LinkedIn cold email or warm email, and they often hit me up to ask me like what's the go-to way from there, what to
Okay.
say in those emails that actually get opened and actually get them a response.
Okay.
So I guide them through that process, and yeah, just like some basic things like how to handle objections. So I tell them how
Oh, that's
what's the
important.
go-to way
Correct.
when it comes to that.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
the 3 4 that is like we've heard that for decades. Your price is too high. I need to do more research, and I try to tell them that how things have changed, and this is the thing that you need to focus on right now. This is how what you need to say when somebody says that to you, and the way in which you can take the conversation forward, how to build long-term relationship and not sound pushy in your approach.
Correct.
It doesn't matter if you're in sales or not.
Correct.
So yeah, that is what I help you with. So yeah, so
Wow.
it's
Okay.
pretty good.
So we all have to make a start somewhere. Shuja, tell me, where did you get your first paid client and how do you go about it?
Okay, so to be honest, I haven't got a paid gig yet.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'm providing free services as of now. As I've told you, I've tried to build my brand. But how I got into sales, I can tell you that.
That would
If
be
that's
even
where
more
it's
amazing. Great.
yeah.
Great.
So before this, I had no intention of ever getting into sales. I never thought about this, right? But
Hmm.
before this, I had a startup of my own. It was called bidonbricks.com. And we were
Okay.
three people. It was more in the real estate sector.
Okay.
And so as I was approaching these big real estate guys, I knew that I had to work on my sales skills in order to persuade them to get into a partnership with them.
Okay.
And so to persuade them, I started learning sales and started making notes from anybody and from everybody that was giving free stuff online.
Mhm.
I was there from some of the big names like Dan Locke, Victor Antonio, Mark Peshak. These are some big people in sales. So whatever they were saying, I was making notes,
Oh,
and
Dan
I
Locke is
tried
a
to learn
wonderful
them.
guy.
Tried to
Wonderful.
Dan
Very
Locke, yes,
impressive.
he's one of my first mentors, and
Oh,
I
great.
learned a lot of things from him.
Great.
And Victor Antonio, the original Wolf of Wall Street.
Great.
So
Great.
everybody, from anybody that I can learn anything, I was making notes upon that. And so ultimately what happened was BitOnBricks couldn't get big because it was the whole GST demonetization thing that hit the real estate market, and
Okay.
we had to shut it down.
Okay.
But the sales skills, I had a plan B. So in a way, I never planned for this. But then again, subconsciously, I mean, I was learning sales, so I thought to myself, why not make it an exclusive thing and start a sales training company, since I've learned things that I think might help other people that are new to this. So it went over for around 2 to 2.5 years,
Mm-hmm.
the whole bit on bricks, the rise, fall, the everything.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, I learned sales, I made notes, and out of all the notes, I wrote a book, and it got some pretty good response in UK. So that also gave me a boost that people are listening and people like to see, I mean, what they're seeing. And so if I can offer some sort of value to the people, to the community here I have on LinkedIn, then it's gonna be good in a way. I mean, so that kind of
Oh,
gave me the
that
boost that I
sounds pretty
needed. That yeah,
impressive.
this works.
That sounds pretty impressive. Why don't you tell us a little more about the book?
Okay, so the book is called Subtle Art of Closing Sales.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Okay.
by me, Shuja Hassan, and it's available over all the Amazons, .com, .in, .co.uk, and
Okay.
7 others.
Okay.
So you can just type in the name on Google and it's going to pop up.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was my second book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm writing on sales right now. I'm just before this call, I was with a guy that was helping me design the cover for my
Okay.
second sales book. So
Okay.
that is going to be the sequel to this.
Okay.
So yeah, the first 2 or 3 registers that I had, I compiled it all up to produce Subtle Art of Closing Sales, and now everything after that, it's gonna come in the next book, Understanding Sales Like Your Spouse, as I name it right now. So that's gonna be the 2 books on sales, and yeah, let's see how that goes, and if it gets nearly as good as a response as the Subtle Art, then it's good enough for me. I don't want anything else. So.
Wow.
That's the
I
thing.
can
That's
tell
what
you,
I'm
I
looking
can tell
for.
you, being a writer, writing a whole book takes a great deal of self-discipline. So that
Yes,
must be a big task that you have taken.
yes, sir, it was my 2.5 years of work. Everything that I learned while bit on bricks
Okay.
went and it ended. So everything I learned, I made notes and I just compiled all those notes into a book so that I don't lose them. So
Correct.
then the idea of book was born. So that was it.
Great. Great. Okay. There might be times where you get in touch with a client about whose industry you have technically no understanding. In that such a situation, how do you typically start?
Sorry, sir, I didn't get that question
Yeah, I
very
was
well.
asking that suppose there is somebody from an industry, a business that you have no idea about, and he approaches you
Yeah.
about a sales training program or helping them out with sales or marketing, then how would you approach that?
Yeah.
Because you would have practically no idea about their industry or business. So where does it all begin
Yes, so
for
that's
you?
the thing. Yeah. So if first, let's say I don't have any idea, right?
Mhm.
And if I get this impression by this person approaching me that I cannot help this guy,
Mhm.
so I'm not going to manipulate him, right? I'm going to say straight up no, but I'm going to refer him to somebody in my sales community that I know that this guy, for example, real estate, I know something about real estate, but I don't know, let's say something about XYZ sector, but I know a guy that
Correct.
does. So,
Correct.
and this guy is a good friend of mine. So I'm going to refer him to that person. And
Oh,
I
so you're
don't
building
take
long-term
full guarantee
relationship
that.
because that in that
Yes,
situation,
exactly.
correct? That because that raises your
Exactly.
trustability. Correct. Great.
Exactly. So I'm trying to build a brand, and you
Mhm.
cannot build a brand by being manipulative. It's not
Very
a
true.
long-term game.
Very true. Very true. Great. Great. Okay. So in that situation, since you must have helped a few clients, even if you have not really picked up a paid gig, I would want to know what kind of
Yes.
really good compliments you have heard from people you have helped. What kind of things they say about you?
Okay. Okay. So I remember this guy. I was trying to pitch him. It has been like 1 year, or something like that. And he was giving me all sorts of objection. He was kind of testing me. He didn't have any intention to buy. He knew it. I knew it. But it was more of a game of ego at that point. Like,
Okay.
I have answer to all of your questions. So it was more of a fight. We are
Okay.
going back and forth on LinkedIn messages.
Okay.
But at the end, I still remember his words. He said to me that, Shuja, you have a lot of energy, but
Okay.
you need direction.
Okay. Okay.
So that was, I still remember him and I still remember those words. Yes, I'm trying to do that. And this thing that I get from a lot of people is because I have, if you go on my LinkedIn profile, it talks about aliens, it talks about zombies, it talks about everything
Ah,
and sales. So
great.
I'm not just a very formal guy with suit and tie that's going to give you a sales pitch and this is how we're going to go. This is not we're going to do. I just try to be very dynamic and I try to bring the color back, make it fun again to sales. So some people like it, some don't because some think, what the fuck are you doing? This is not formal. What are you doing to sales? But I just try to bring something new to the table that
Okay.
we can learn sales by enjoying, but by talking about aliens. I love aliens. I love zombies. And I incorporate all those elements to
Okay.
make everything fun again.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's what I do.
That's a real fun thing to know about you. You loving zombies and aliens, and I was quite happy interacting with you over emails. That those emails actually they stand out.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the
Great.
point. Make them stand out. Make people remember you. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Tell me, is there a specific incident from your childhood that you still have strongly in your memory and that has at least partly shaped Shuja Hassan for what he is today?
Okay, so this is gonna be personal. So uh,
That's
I
okay. The only
suffered
kind
from
of
depression.
experiences
Yeah,
we want to hear is
yeah.
anything
So
that has actually helped you.
yeah, sir. So I actually suffered from sort of depression for more than 6 years, 6, 7 years, and
Okay.
so that brought me more into the comedy side.
Mm-hmm.
And I aspire to be a stand-up comedian one day. So
Okay.
I test out my jokes here and there. I'm still doing that on LinkedIn, try to
Okay.
incorporate that with sales.
Okay.
So that kind of made me into the person that this is a thing and you can joke about it, right? So that
Great.
was like my getaway
Okay.
in a way. So I started joking. I started writing jokes and this and that and talking about aliens and all this. Make it like sort of my brand and come out of that dark place. So it was more of an escape. This whole jokes and all that we've been going through.
Wow,
And
Shuja,
yeah,
this is very,
so
very bold of you, very courageous of you to talk about the kind of things you have been battling. I'm really impressed. That's great.
thank you,
Okay, so
thank you so
what
much.
are the current challenges that you're facing in growing? As in, you want to be a better sales consultant, a better go-to
Yeah.
guy. What are the challenges you think you're facing currently?
Okay, so one of the biggest challenges, you don't have any clients.
Mm-hmm.
If I go to approach a client, right, I don't have a lot of testimonials on my side.
Correct.
I have a few book reviews. Book
Uh-huh.
reviews help. Of course, they help. I mean, I can tell a guy that for example, this happened. I went to a lot of conferences
Mm-hmm.
and we were sitting around like 10 or 12 very accomplished people in their different fields.
Okay.
And everybody had 1 to 1.5 minutes to introduce yourself.
Okay.
And when I did, again, I was asked what was my credibility. If I'm going to hire you as a sales trainer, what is
Okay.
your credibility? And at the end, I told them about the book. But
Okay.
a lot of times books aren't enough, at least
Correct.
one book.
Correct.
So if you are going to be in this, then you have to write more than one book.
Okay.
If that's your only credibility, and that is what I realized recently. I was talking to a friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
and he gave me the suggestion of why not open up your sales website. And
Okay.
so I created shujasan.com.
Okay.
So that was again one step to build the brand and make people like believe in you more, make your credibility go up. So that is one of the major issue that people don't believe that a 22-year-old guy can help them with the sales challenges that they're facing. They're all like, you must have read a couple of books and that is not going to help us. So we're not going to waste our time with you. We know you cannot help us again because you don't have a lot of credibility. So I'm just trying to build up that quote unquote credibility and by doing as much as I can, writing books, creating a website, giving free value, whatever, answering on Quora, even I do that sometimes.
Okay.
So that is what I am trying to solve.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can understand that a businessman who has been into his business since, let's say, 15, 20 years doesn't always
Yeah,
open up for suggestions from a guy who is almost as old as his own business. So I'm sure you face
exactly.
those kind of challenges. That's
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting, and I'm sure you will be finding out more and more ways to overcome those things. I want to know
exactly, sir.
one more
Yeah.
thing about how do you plan to grow in terms of since you have already written one book and now you are into writing the second book, and naturally every writer wants his second book to be better than the first and the third book to be better than the second. So what are you doing
Yes,
to
sir.
make your second book better than the first?
Okay. So the first book, Subtle Art, was more about the sales fundamentals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anybody that doesn't know anything about sales can pick up that book and at least learn one new thing from that. It has
Correct.
more than 40 chapters, 250 pages.
Correct.
So I'm assuming that you can at least take one chapter with you home. Now the second book is more about the buyer psychology and understanding them as your human. That is why I called it understanding sales like a spouse. It means
Okay.
understanding sales like a human being.
Okay.
The mood swings, the emotions, the attention lack, what they go through sometimes.
Okay.
And so it's more about the statistics, the studies that have been done in sales and marketing, that
Okay.
this works and this doesn't, and why this works.
Okay.
So yeah, so that is more focused on the buyer psychology. So you can create your marketing campaign and your sales pitches around that. first was
Great.
more about words. This is a sales pitch. You need to follow this. Second is why you need to follow this.
Oh,
So
great.
it's more about the why.
Correct. So you're trying to complete the circle in a sense of the word.
Yeah.
Oh, great. That sounds good. So how do you write? Like you use straight away you start typing on the computer, or you draw kind of a small draft on a piece of paper or something, or how do you break down the chapters and everything?
Okay, so first I write on my notebook and everything and anything like I can get my hands on from, for example, I saw a YouTube video and I'm going to go back to it. If I found it valuable enough, I'm going to note it down word by word. And then I'm going to find the most important pieces and like label with my experience, how it worked for me, because things that work in US doesn't necessarily always work in India.
Absolutely.
So I keep the two in contrast. So this is how the buyers finds it, how buyers behave in India, and how I can implement this into my book if I'm going to write that from that perspective. So first I note things down, important points, and when I reach at a specific level, then I think I should copy all of this, and then I start typing into the laptop, and then it's more like from rough to fair. But then again, I have to format it like 10 to 12 times because there are a lot of errors in there. I don't hire a proofreader. I do it all myself. So sometimes there are, you have to proofread like 10 or 12 times because often you miss a lot of things. So that is the process. Yeah. And I try to divide them into small chapters, 5 to 6 pages, not a lot. And as much points, as much bullet points, images as possible. So yeah, I try to keep it more visual.
Yeah, so it turns out to be more digestible and more reader friendly. Correct.
Yeah, it's not a lot of people like sales, right? They kind of think it as very, very formal language and all that. So I try to talk about, as I said before, aliens and zombies in there to just lighten up the mood.
Okay. Since you're talking about books, tell me, what is your favorite book or books or favorite authors?
Okay, so this might be weird, but I'm not that much of a reader. Yeah.
So you learn more of the stuff through YouTube and stuff?
Videos. Yeah, exactly, through YouTube and stuff. And even like I go on YouTube and read book summaries. For example, if there's a book like that is, for example, let's pick up 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. That book has around 300 pages, right? A very like it's a New York Times bestseller, whatever. But at the end of the day, I read the book all 300 pages, but after a month, I wasn't able to remember all of those, right? So what was the point? That is what I asked myself. So what I usually do now is I go up on YouTube and read book summaries. That summarizes everything in the book in around 5 to 6 minutes, all the major points and all. And there are even books about book summaries. For example, there was by Clayton Christensen Hemsen. I'm forgetting his name, but yeah, that is what I normally do. I rely more on the YouTube videos than the books. So I'm not much of a reader.
Then strangely, although you are not a reader, you expect people to be reading your books. So how do you balance that part? How do you justify that?
So it's just a game of market, if you may. Some people like videos. It's like just priority, like preference.
That's it's a matter of product mix.
Yeah. Some people can't sleep before they go through a book, before they read something. And we cannot like force a video on them that you need to watch that. We cannot change that. So it's just a basis of preference. I'm not that market. I don't belong to that. I like to write, but I don't like to read.
Oh, great. Tell me, how do you balance your time between your book, your process of reaching out to people and helping them for free, and your family and friends? How do you balance all these things?
Okay, so basically I don't go out a lot. I'm more on the introvert side compared to the extrovert. So I have a couple of friends, but yeah, I mean, I don't go out, so that kind of saves up a lot of time. You get a lot of time to do things on your own, to come up with things. And so LinkedIn is or has become like my new Facebook, and there are some amazing people. I talk to them, not just about sales, but talk about life, for example. Yeah. There are a lot of writers I talk about how's life going and all that. So yeah, it's a pretty good thing. And yeah, so managing all the platforms and everything can be difficult sometimes, but basically right now I'm focusing on LinkedIn, Quora, and the book. So I just have 3 things in my arsenal right now. So yeah, I don't have a very strict schedule that I stick by. like Monday, Tuesday, LinkedIn, and then Wednesday, Thursday, this and that. So I just try to be as dynamic as possible and come up with how I'm feeling. And yeah, so that's the thing.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Do you have a particular process of understanding? You said you read book summaries. Then again,
Yeah,
the quality of the book summary would depend upon whoever is prepared the book summary.
yeah.
So how do you actually make sure that you get the most out of the book summary without losing out much? One, of course, is that it's
Okay,
because it's quite short. You can remember it. But is there anything else you do?
yeah. So it depends a lot on who the guy is on the other side or who the woman is on the other side of that YouTube channel. So I listen to, there's a guy called Clark Kingsley.
Mm-hmm.
And I particularly listen to him. He has a lot of bestsellers and all, and he reviews them, he reads them, and he then creates a book summary of around 8 to 10 minutes of every book, like Rich Dad and Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. We have The Lean Startup. We have Peter Thiel. So I just rely on maybe one to two guy. I don't go after anybody and everybody on YouTube. Because, everybody has a different styles, and so you connect with a person, you need to stick with them. That is what I believe. So that again is a game of brand loyalty. He created himself, he created his brand loyalty in such a way that now he's the only guy I listen to. And he's always in my recommended page on the YouTube. And whenever something comes up, he's my go-to guy.
Oh, true. Yeah,
I connect with him as well.
Correct, because now we have grown to trust the kind of hard work he puts into it. So it's more or less the same thing that would be happening with you over a period of time. Once people start realizing you've been putting a lot of hard work into whatever you're doing, so your value will automatically increase. Correct.
And so he's also an entrepreneur and a musician. So that strikes another chord. So we can see, I also sometimes play guitar. I'm not that good, but I sometimes do.
Okay, so, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it will be like kind of on the same page when it comes to that. So you can see yourself in that person. So that is also one of the reasons why I watch his videos.
Okay. I'll next come to how do you use the technology tools apart from, of course, that you use YouTube, but are there any tools or apps or something that you use to improve yourself, your quality of writing and your overall growth process?
Okay, sir. So there are various editing softwares, but since my laptop cannot support the Photoshops and all, so right now I'm relying on Filmora, and I try to create more and more content apart from LinkedIn. I also make YouTube videos. So I started with basic editing in Filmora, and I learned editing watching YouTube videos, surprisingly. So I do that. And so Filmora is one of the biggest software in my arsenal right now. I heavily rely on that. And like twice a week, I upload on YouTube, whether it be a topic on sales or social commentary or music. It's channel like that has it all. And so I'm trying to grow that as well. So I heavily rely on Filmora right now. And to create thumbnails, there are other tools like Canva, online tools where you can make thumbnails and all.
Canva is an amazing tool.
While making.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, great. How do your relatives or friends, how do they react or how do they respond? What is their reaction when they realize that you have already written a book at such a young age and you are into writing the second book? How do they respond to it?
Who, sir? My parents?
Parents, family, friends, or even strangers. I mean, I also am quite impressed that at the age of 22, you are writing your second book. So how do other people respond?
So my fourth book. It's actually going to be my fourth book.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So first of all, let's address this that I dropped out of CA after my group 1. So that has always been for my parents, like what you're going to do next. That's always been the question mark. And even up till now, because I don't have a paid gig, right? So I'm not earning anything as of now. So yeah, that is always the question. You should go for an MBA. You should prepare for CAT. And that is basically, but they are really, really supportive in whatever I do. They really support, because without that, I wouldn't be here. So that is like one of the top 3 things that help me out, really help me out. And they're really supportive. That is what I can summarize it all in. Yeah,
good.
Love the fact that I have the supportive side.
having a supportive family is one of the greatest gifts we can ever have.
Exactly, sir. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, and now I'll come to some very quick questions. First is,
Sure.
how would you describe yourself if I were to limit yourself to only 5 words? How do you describe yourself in just 5 words?
Weird.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, 5 words. Weird, quirky,
Okay.
and
That's more or less the same. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
quirky and stupid. I don't know, sir. But, alien hybrid. I don't know if that's a word. I don't know what I'm talking about. Zombie, I guess.
Okay. Okay. They
And
are all
a
very
human.
interesting. That's an interesting
Yeah.
combination of words. Okay.
Yeah.
Other,
And I'm a Satanist. I'm a Satanist, by the way. So if that helps,
sorry, say that again.
I'm a Satanist. If that helps,
That's
add that as
unusual.
well.
That's
Yeah.
unusual. Okay. Okay. I have 5 things. I want you to choose in each of the pairs. I want you to choose one of the 2 things.
Okay.
I'll just ask you. I'll give you 5 choices, and I want you to select one of the 2. Would it be
Sure.
romantic movies or action movies?
Action.
Songs or podcasts?
Songs.
Exercise at gym or exercise at home?
Exercise at gym.
Fruit or juice?
Food.
Okay. And beach or mountains?
Beach.
Okay. Okay. Finally, one last question. Is there your all-time favorite quotation or something that you would want to really live by?
I didn't catch that. Sorry, sir. Can you repeat that?
Do you have a favorite quotation that you would want to live by your entire life? A single quote.
Quotation. We talked about Dan Lok, right?
Yeah.
Dan Lok once said, I don't know if this was his personal thing or there was a guy called Zach Ziegler, and he was a pretty big name in sales. So he said, you are closer than you think. Now it has a double meaning, closer in sales, and closer means you're closer to the goals in life than you think. So that is what I live by every single day.
Oh, that's
It's
a
not
very
that
deep
difficult.
statement. That's a very deep statement.
Yeah, sir.
Oh, great. And the last one, how do you plan to pan out your career in the next 5 to 10 years? From here, where do you go?
Sure. So this consultation company I have right now, I plan to expand it, and by expanding I mean recruiting like-minded people.
Okay.
And I'm going to teach them, and they're going to go to different companies to teach those companies. So this way I'm going to expand the whole sales training thing in India that hasn't been done before, and include humor and bring color to sales.
Correct. So that becomes your
point
USP.
talks about. Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Great, Shuja. We are nearing the end of the interview, so I'll have to stop here. But it's been really fun talking to you, and all my wishes for your present and future endeavors, as well as for the upcoming book.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It means a lot.
It's been great talking to you. Thank you, Shuja, for your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, sir.